Hey Mallards, it is Friday, which means that I'd like to talk about the latest episode of WandaVision. I know it's been a hot second, but episode 8 was wild and I want to discuss it. So, lots of spoilers for WandaVision. You know, I was crazy about the whole Pietro thing, but the Halloween episode was really interesting, and like the reveal of Agnes being Agatha Harkness was like not that surprising to me. I'd been in on those fan theories and I firmly believed in them as well because it sort of tracks. What's interesting is that I feel like they've rewritten her character because her mother definitely looked like the Agatha Harkness of the comics, and so I'm intrigued to see about this Agatha, who clearly also has some uncontrolled, very powerful magic that she can will around, although she is a little bit more classically trained using spells. So it is interesting to see sort of the dynamics of magic and also the dynamics of the magic that she wields versus what we've seen with Doctor Strange already in the MCU, and also that they're bringing magic more in with Wanda, and that's really fun. This travel through time thing was really cool. Got to see a side of Wanda that we haven't really seen, and that was very nice because I really, really wanted that. Want a chance to actually get to know this character and who she is in a way that I feel like we have not been blessed with previously. Really interesting that they suggested that she had magic to begin with, and so that she used her magic to stop the bomb from exploding, and then just the interaction with the Mind Stone just heightened something she already had, which I think is really cool, and also lends itself to the idea that her children, whether or not they are real, still up for debate, would have their own innate powers because they would have inherited that magic from her. And so that's really cool. And I'm very intrigued to see where they go with this. I liked the idea that they called her Scarlet Witch at the end, that they were like, oh yes, this is chaos magic. And I was like, oh, we've been waiting for chaos magic. Absolutely, that's what this is. And then she's like, you're the Scarlet Witch. Like there's some mythology around that, which I thought was kind of cool. I'm intrigued. Also feels like a weird reincarnation suggestion, which is also how I felt about that moment when Wanda like touched the Mind Stone and she saw like the Scarlet Witch coming down. Maybe it's a multiverse thing. Maybe like she's just one of the Wanda Maximoffs and we're gonna like get a different one from a different universe, and like that's who she saw through the Mind Stone. Don't know. Intrigued to see what they bring about with all of this. Wow. I mean, I feel like there's one episode left. They can't possibly wrap this all up. So I'm going to end that episode being like, I want what's next. And I'm not going to get the next part of that story for a hot second. But I am going to get the next part of a lot of things. My brother linked me to a post on Reddit that basically lays out the fact that there will be new Marvel content every week for the rest of 2021. So I got nothing to worry about. I got Marvel coming my way every moment that I want it for the whole rest of the year, which is really actually pretty freaking exciting. Man, if they can keep that up for 2022, I mean, let me tell you, Disney already owns my soul because they own all the things that I love, but wow. I really feel like that Disney Plus subscription, worth it. So I enjoyed the way this whole thing was laid out. I'm excited for what comes next, even if it won't be a full ending. I also really loved the whole Wanda's POV of the interaction with Sword. I mean, like, I knew that I hated Hayward, but I didn't know how much I hated him until that whole part. It's so good. So good. Just, the way that was all laid out, and the way that we saw the clips that we'd seen earlier of her like breaking the door open and her shattering the glass and her like flying down and all of that sort of stuff, exactly the way that it happened, but taken completely out of context. And also, like, I had been upset because I was like, oh, I feel like Wanda's like not this wild, and she wasn't. She was very mature. She did a very good job. She went and saw Vision's body and couldn't feel him, and so she left, and then clearly just used chaos magic to make a whole new Vision, which is wild, but also means that she didn't actually bring somebody back from life. from death. Like, she didn't bring somebody back to life. She just created a whole new entity, which is intriguing and interesting, and I like a lot better because it's different than reincarnation, and it also means that she couldn't bring back old Pietro, which I liked. I mean, obviously, Agatha did that. Also, not episode 8, obviously episode 7, but that "It Was Agatha All Along" song is stuck in my head all the time now. Just constantly. That song is so catchy. All of the songs in this have been pretty catchy, but like that's another step above. Yeah, so I loved it. I loved the travel through her story, and I love seeing all of that from the other point of view, and I liked really getting to know Wanda from beginning to end. It was really fun. I wish there'd been a little more Pietro, but clearly they didn't get the actor who played Quicksilver in the movies to come back for this, because he would have been in here. But I really did enjoy it all. But also, now I'm really wondering about Pietro getting his powers, like about him becoming Quicksilver, having the speed, because Wanda clearly had innate magic before, and like that's why the Mind Stone communicated with her. So like, did Pietro have some powers innately, and that's why the Mind Stone gave him powers? Or did Wanda give Pietro powers with her chaos magic because she didn't want to be alone? That's not a theory that will ever be confirmed. It's just something that I'm thinking about. Anyway, loved this episode. Can't wait for the next one. Sure, I will talk about it when next Friday hits, but oof, man. If you are watching WandaVision, how did you feel about the, like, verbatim Scarlet Witch? And also, how did you feel in general about this story, and how much do you want to murder Haywood? That's what I want you to weigh in. I'll see you tomorrow. It was Agatha all along. Oh, it's so catchy.